Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Hopefully this is going out. I'm getting an error message. It says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. I've actually never seen this before. It's the first live stream on this new YouTube channel, and I think I'm already under censorship on this channel. Yesterday all day I wanted to upload a video, but it would not let me log into my account. It gave me the error message. If you've ever been a YouTube creator, you get that error and then it shows like a pile of TVs in a triangle, like a pyramid of old TVs. All day yesterday I got that, and I was thinking, man, maybe I'll never get to use this account, but today I was able to log in and it works. So let's go over some of the headlines from yesterday and today. I want to talk about Colin Kaepernick's workout, the latest news by the numbers. I want to talk about these Arkansas chemistry teachers supposedly, removed from the school for making meth. They were put on administrative leave the same day that the new Breaking Bad film came out on Netflix. And then we're going to talk about why the story came out November 16th as well, since this story supposedly took place in October. Going to talk about the election of John Bel Edwards, a perfect Louisiana ritual. Talk about the latest serial killer news on the day leaving 44 days left in the year. News of an arrest of a serial killer from 4 decades ago. And talk a little bit more about the shooter in California from November 14th. They're saying he died at about 3:30 p.m. Would you believe it? So if you missed the video we've done on that up to this point, you're going to have to go back and check that out. That began, the first video I put out on that was deleted by Google and got my counter-strike, and I imagine it's only a matter of time until the other video that still remains on the shooting gets a strike. And I find it funny that they struck the video that was 3 minutes long, where I didn't rant or anything. Just showed the simple decode and said, here we are, we told you a month in advance to circle this date to look for a tragedy in the news. It's the type of date that you see shootings, bombings, etc. And sure enough, get another shooting on the date. So just called attention to that, showed what the latest numerical ritual was, and for that, Google struck the video for hate speech. Once again, 0 hate speech. That video is up on Facebook. Anyone can watch it. And again, Google just calls the truth hate speech, which is sad. Talk a little bit about Roger Stone being found guilty during the time of the Trump impeachment inquiry. And then also want to talk about this too from the shooting in California at the school. I mean, look at the headline right there. 3 off-duty officers dropped off their children. Seconds later, gunfire erupted. I mean, talk about putting it in your face. And we'll talk about this whole Myles Garrett versus Mason Rudolph thing, and even going to talk about the 3rd Flat Earth Convention. I want to show you what stands out again about the Flat Earth Convention. It's the 3rd year in a row that I see all sorts of red flags with this thing. I don't trust the Flat Earth movement one bit. So let's start with Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick, Mr. News by the Numbers, been going on since the summer of 2016, if I haven't lost track of time. But if you saw this news coverage, you saw Colin Kaepernick say the number 32 several times. Every mainstream outlet has been sure to encode 32 in the story. I've been ready for 3 years. I've been denied for 3 years, Kaepernick told reporters at the conclusion of Bizarre Day. We are waiting for the 32 owners, 32 teams, and Roger Goodell to stop running from the truth, stop running from the people. So that's the Fox News coverage. Look at how the CNN coverage did it. So we're waiting for the 32 owners and 32 teams, Roger Goodell, all of them to stop running, said the 32-year-old, who hasn't played in nearly 3 years. I mean, again, the whole reason I figured out this Gematria thing was just the way news stories use numbers. I mean, it's every single day you'll see a paragraph where they're sure to list the same number 3 times, 2 times, maybe 4 times. And maybe like one of those numbers is meaningful detail, but then the other ones you're like, seems like you're going a bit overkill with the old numbers there. And of course, the NFL does have 32 teams. The NFL calls itself America's game. Remember, America was established 7/4/1776, a date with 32 numerology. NFL 32 teams. Notice when you flip the alphabetic order around, NFL's 49, so is America. Let me refresh this. There's something missing up here. And so is Scottish. Scottish is 32 and 49. And again, American football credited to the Scottish Rite Freemason, Walter Camp. Freemasonry is based in Kabbalah. That's where this whole code of letters and numbers comes from, which is Gematria. In Kabbalah, it's stated God created the world with letters, numbers, and words. And again, every single day, the headlines, the mainstream, playing God for the masses, telling them what to think, what to believe, what to follow, what to be into, what not to be into. Media is God for so many people in this world, especially in a world where so many people are atheists, have no spirituality. Anyway, NFL, America, Scottish, all 32, 49. The story is yesterday, he was supposed to have his audition for NFL teams in the Atlanta Falcons building, one of the NFL teams down on the 33rd parallel, owned by Arthur Blank, who has the same birthday as the Jesuits. We've been talking about all the Jesuit rituals with this whole Colin Kaepernick thing. I wish I had Dan Behrendt on right now, because Dan Behrendt for years has been also showing how this thing is synced up with Charles Manson and the Atlanta Falcons. Dan Behrendt been talking about this for years. He's been connecting the Kaepernick thing to Charles Manson and the Atlanta Falcons and some deeper history. And I love Dan Behrendt work, and I got to admit, I've kind of had an eyebrow about that. I'm like, well, maybe he's right, but that seems a little bit abstract. But now that they were supposed to have this in the Atlanta Falcons building, I'm like, man, Dan Behrendt was right on again. Dan the man. So, anyway, instead of him showing up at the Atlanta Falcons building, and by the way, Atlanta Falcons equals 49, instead of him showing up there, he showed up at the Riverdale High School. Okay? And you see how Riverdale's 49, it's also 149. Kaepernick played for the 49ers before all this. The last game Kaepernick played in the NFL was January 1st, 2017. Last NFL appearance. From then to this staged NFL rehearsal workout, thing that it was, 1,049 days. What are the odds? 1,049 days from his last NFL performance to his NFL audition at Riverdale High School. And again, it was supposed to be at the Falcons building, but this is just all part of the narrative, right? Kaepernick's taking a stand against the league. He says all this time he wants to get back in the league, so here's his opportunity. And instead of doing that, what's he going to do? He's going to go, oh, never mind, I'm going to go do my own audition nearby at the Atlanta High School. I mean, you can just see what a contrived joke it is. But the other thing about 149 is it's the 35th prime number. You might recall Nick Foles equals 149. He beat the Patriots on the 35th day of the year in Super Bowl 52. And then what are the odds that Nick Foles makes his return this week in the NFL and the Patriots and Eagles are playing each other the same day, rematch of Super Bowl 52? And look it up, the head ref on the field for the Patriots-Eagles game is number 52. Comical stuff. Don't forget Minnesota equals 52 where that Super Bowl was. But anyway, 149, the 35th prime number. QB is 35. So, perfect location for him to have a quarterback QB edition. You see how they do it? And in light of this being a workout audition for the NFL, workout's 33, like how Atlanta's down on the 33rd parallel. It's also 39 when you run the alphabetic order in reverse. This went down on a date with a lifeless at number 39. Of course, Nike equals 39. In the time Kaepernick hasn't been in the NFL, he's been getting paid that NFL money through Nike for the advertising campaign. He's probably making even more money than he was as an NFL quarterback. And what cracks me up is the footage they put out of him auditioning, the little quick clip. It's him rolling out to the wrong side and throwing the ball like he did his whole NFL career, because he has no NFL mechanics. He has a strong arm, but he has a really long release. He always rolls out the wrong way and throws back. It's just, the whole thing is a joke. Most people aren't going to catch on to those types of things, but just the quick, 20-second clip CNN has, it's like, oh my God, that's his whole NFL career in a nutshell right there. Rolling out the wrong way. Anyway. Okay. And then from Kaepernick's birthday, he just turned 32. Again, this whole 32 show. From his birthday to the audition was 13 days later. Again, there's 4 base ciphers. Alphabetic order with the rules of numerology, reverse alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. It was 13 days after his birthday. If you count the span of days, it was also his 14th day of his age. And notice, NFL's 13 and 14. To go with the 32s and 49s, they're already encoded. So all 4 base ciphers are clearly part of this NFL divisive ritual, which it is. So, again, if it's Colin Kaepernick in the headlines, it's news by the numbers. And with that said, let's move on to this story, which I like even more. So, I got up this morning and I got a notification on my phone that Derek was doing a video on this story, and he connected it all to eclipses. And when he was done, I said, did you know that Netflix just released a show about Breaking Bad, or a movie that's a continuation of the Breaking Bad narrative? And again, Derek can do whatever he wants, but I think because he's trying to connect everything to eclipses, he's oftentimes missing what the real ritual of the story is. And in this one, it wasn't hard to see, because these guys, I'll just show you how perfectly all this is synced up. So, it says that these 2 teachers who were making meth, just like how Breaking Bad's about a chemistry teacher who decides to make meth and get rich. It says these 2 chemistry teachers who were accused of making meth in their school, they were put on administrative leave October 11th. And what's funny about that? Well, a number of things, including the fact El Camino just came out. And remember, the day this show came out, one of the actors from it died. We covered that October 11th. But El Camino comes out October 11th, which is the Netflix movie that's a continuation of the Breaking Bad story. And it's centered on Jesse Pinkman, who's the younger right-hand man to Walter White, the chemistry teacher who breaks bad. So check this out. Just check this out. They give you these 2 teacher names, right? A 45-year-old and a 40-year-old. And the 40-year-old that's how old Jesse Pinkman is right now, the actual actor who plays Jesse Pinkman. Well, and we'll get to how El Camino equals 45 and how this news story came out a month after the fact on the day leaving 45 days left in the year. But look at these guys. Terry David Bateman and Bradley Allen Rowland, right? And, Derek started his video by saying, I'm not saying that this news story is made up, but look, if it's in the news, it is made up, okay? And if you decode the story properly, you're going to see how made up it is. So, Terry David Bateman equals 74, like Breaking Bad, like methamphetamine, right? And check this out. From Bryan Cranston's birthday, who's the main character in Breaking Bad, to these guys being put on administrative leave for making methamphetamine, look at this. From his March 7th birthday to October 11th was 7 months and 4 days. And the 218 days, that's a whole other side topic. I'll let Zenith of the Alpha make a video on that. It's another special number. But 7 months and 4 days, well, and again, it's just always the same numbers. It's just always the same numbers. So what about the other guy who's listed? Check this out. Oh yeah, and by the way, the guy with all the 74, again, El Camino equals 45. This story came out yesterday, the day leaving 45 days left in the year. Again, it's synced up with the El Camino movie. The actor Aaron Paul, who plays Jesse Pinkman, who's the main character in El Camino, he's 40 years old right now, just like the second man mentioned in the story. And from his birthday to this news story's release is 81 days, right? 81 days. And the 40-year-old in the story, Bradley Allen Rowland, his name equals 81. Chemistry teacher equals 81. And October 11th, the day El Camino came out, was the day leaving 81 days left in the year. And of course, ritual equals 81. We call this the ritual number. So, it's not hard to see that this whole thing is a made-up news story. Is it synced up with a solar eclipse? I don't know. Maybe. But, Derek, if you're out there, please, man, come back to Gematria decoding greater importance of showing how these stories are really synced up with a lot easier things to grasp than eclipses. Because, I mean, honestly, man, I respect what you're trying to do, but imagine if somebody new comes across your video and they'd be like, what? This story is sort of like Breaking Bad, but synced up with an eclipse? I mean, the average person who's going to watch your video is going to be like, well, what about the Breaking Bad show that just came out on Netflix? You know what I mean? So, anyway. Also, November 16th, 19 was a date with 46 numerology. Meth equals 46. The whole show's about making meth. Okay, now here's another story from yesterday, November 16th. John Bel Edwards wins in Louisiana, a red state, and they're saying this is a big slap in the face for Donald Trump. You know, his Republican party's lost 2 big elections in the last two or 3 months. I think the last one was in September, actually. Kentucky. But they're saying this isn't a good sign for the Republicans, losing in their own territory, candidates backed by Trump. Again, remember, the whole world of politics is staged, rigged. It's a back and forth teeter-totter to keep people fighting amongst themselves, living within the contrived matrix of misinformation. Look at this. John Bel Edwards, his birthday is September 16th, right? He's 53 years old. 53 is the 16th prime number. Remember, 16 points in Super Bowl 53. And the election was on the 16th as well. But from his birthday to the election yesterday was 61 days. And guess what Louisiana equals? 61, where he wins. The guy who he ran against, he's 70 years old, like how Trump was 70 when he won his election. And from his birthday to the election was 299 days, which doesn't really connect to anything. So between the two candidates, only one had the Louisiana connection, and that was the winner, John Bel Edwards. And you see this again and again and again. You know, a year ago, when I was still doing Gematria school, and someday I promise I will bring Gematria school back. I know a lot of people say, Zach, I really want you to start the Gematria school. There was a day where we just went and looked at the election before it happened, and we went through a bunch of candidates, and we just saw who had the synchronicities, and we nailed about every election that we looked at. And what was that lady down in Arizona, Kirsten something, blonde lady? You know, we had her pegged to win, and at first she didn't win, remember? But then there was a recount, and then she got put in there, and I was like, see? She was the one. She was the one. Anyway, as for a lot of headlines being like this, Louisiana delivers Trump a black eye. November 16th is the day leaving 45 days left in the year. Donald Trump, number 45. All contrived theater. All rigged process. You know, it's very possible that John Bel Edwards didn't get the majority of votes. It's very possible he lost the election, but it doesn't matter because they don't count our votes. Our votes are not counted. Elections have been rigged for who knows how long. You know, for all of my adult life, I know that for a fact. I was 17 when the 2000 election went down. That's why I never voted. I just said, what a joke. I mean, people think this is real. You gotta be sound asleep. Here's another good one. Charles Gary Sullivan, arrested for, whoops, got sloppy with my typing up there, but this guy is arrested for a murder from 4 decades ago. Remember 4, the number associated with death? From 4 days ago, a 1979 murder, right? And the guy's name is Charles Gary Sullivan, which equals 83. Again, murder with the alphabetic order is 79. With the reverse alphabetic order, it's 83. His 3-part name, 83, 1979. I mean, and let's just go over some things again. You got the Agatha Christie novel, The ABC Murders, which begins in Andover. The ABC Murders equals 79. Murder, Andover. Look at it in the 4-base ciphers. Exact same in 3 of the 4. And yeah, if you check out this show and use your Gematria knowledge, there's a show on the Amazon streaming service about this. You can just see how they encode the same numbers that we always talk about, from the news to fiction again and again. And with regards to the 83, of course 83, the other number that always shows up around murder, the song Murder by Numbers, where killings as simple as ABC 1, 2, 3 came out in 1983, murders 83 and 38. The movie poster Murder by Numbers, the E's changed to a 3, the B's changed to an 8, 3883. Sandra Bullock at the top of the poster, 83. So, what age did Charles Manson die at? 83. You know, again and again, the same exact numbers, and it just makes you wonder. I mean, how much news is just manufactured? You know, is there really a Charles Sullivan? Did this murder even really happen? Is this some fear porn that they put out back in 1979, and now they give you the updated details 40 years later? This news is circulating today, which is November 17th, the day leaving 44 days left in the year. It's the 17th of the month, the day leaving 44 days left in the year. See, the camera froze again. What else is new? Let me fire the camera back up. A lot of you guys say, how come you don't use your camera all the time like you used to back in the day? The camera's frozen all the time since day one. The keyboard locks up. It's just, ugh. Anyway, November 17th of the month, 44 days remaining. Kill 44 at the alphabetic order, 17 with the alphabetic order and rules numerology. The word serial is 44, serial killer. They say that this man might have been a serial killer. He might be connected to more unsolved murders. Serial killer is 193, the 44th prime. So what a day for this news. It's also possible that, you know, this woman really was murdered and there are a bunch of unsolved murders, and maybe all these years later they find the perfect guy to pin it on. He's got the wrong name, Gematria, you know. So there's a number of things that could be going on. But the point is, what are the odds? Why is it always the same numbers encoded in the news stories? You know, what a day for this news to be circulating. What a day. Okay. And now some more information about Nathaniel Berhow, the Santa Clarita shooter. The shooting that they say lasted exactly 16 seconds, which began as soon as the 3 off-duty cops dropped off their children. And again, just what a dumb thing to report. 16 seconds, the name of the high school equals 16. They said he was 16 years old. But seriously, how can they know that the shooting lasted exactly 16 seconds unless it was a drill? And that's the way the drill was supposed to go down. You know, rehearse, practice. Somebody's there with the stopwatch. One of the off-duty cops shows up. He's got the stopwatch in his pocket. The other guy's got the gun with the blanks. And who knows what the third guy's doing. Maybe he's dressed up as the 16-year-old, you know, penciled some like red dots on his face as pimples. None of it would surprise me. Anyway, 16 seconds though, I mean, like, really? They're really going to report this? That the shooting lasted exactly 16 seconds? And again, this is how I figured out Gematria, because I saw the media was just stupid with numbers. Just stupid. It's stupid to report that a mass shooting lasted exactly 16 seconds. Nobody there should have been able to document that. You know, it's not like everybody's getting ready for school and got their stopwatch out. I'm ready for the shooting to start any moment. I have a feeling it's only going to last seconds. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. So anyway, what do they do after they tell you the shooting lasts 16 seconds? Then they come out and they tell you the shooter died at about 3:30. And what did I say? You know, well, what did I say before any of these details came out? I said once they put out the details of the shooter, his name will be encoded with the same details of the shooting. You know, there's always a 33. It's the exact same thing. Literally, every single time. And somehow people don't catch on. Berhow died at the hospital at about 3:30 p.m. on Friday, authorities said. That was November 15th. That's the 319th day of the year. I know that day real well because that's the day my house was destroyed in 2014. That's with regards to it being the 319th day of the year. Remember, that's a special number 319. Prince did the song, the number 319. Prince died 319 days after his birthday. In Satanic Gematria, Killings 319, so is Masonic. So, there was that. And, yeah, if you forgot, Nathaniel Berhow equals 74. The name of the high school equals 16. It also equals 74. Active shooters, 74. They love to pair 74 and 33 together. Nathaniel Berhow, 74, dead at about 3:30. 16 is one of two numbers when written out as a word that sums to 33. The 16-year-old Nathaniel Behrendt died at 3:30. So that was that. And here's that story about the 3 off-duty officers. 3, right? Police 33, Masonry 33, Secrecy 33, Order 33, Federal 33, False Flag 33. 3. Years ago, when I was getting harassed by the police, it was probably a month or 2 before the house was burglarized. I got pulled over by a police officer for no reason. It was by the same police officer who was stationed outside my house. And I took off from the house, and I had just gotten down to the corner, which is about a quarter mile from the house, and I made a right turn. And then he came, and he flipped on his lights and pulled me over right away. And he said, "You know what I'm pulling you over for?" And I said, "I have no idea." I said, "I'm not doing anything illegal." And he walked around the vehicle, and he said, "I'm not sure these lights are legal." And I was like, "Well, they're the default lights put in by Toyota. There's nothing special about them. I mean, they're the factory-built ones in the car." And he goes, "Well, the reason I pulled you over was because you were on your cell phone." And I left. I said, "I'm not on my cell phone." I said, I just left my house, not on my cell phone at all, know exactly where I'm going." He goes, "Oh, I just saw you on the cell phone." I said, "No, you didn't." I said, "I wasn't on the cell phone." I said, it's here charging. It was like plugged into the cigarette thingy with the cord on it." And he goes, "No, I saw you on it. You were on your cell phone." And I said, "No, I was not on my cell phone." I said, I charged it when I was in the driveway. I just left the thing. I said, "Do you know exactly what it was? You were parked outside my house." He goes, "I'm going to go back to my car. Just wait here a minute." And he sits in his car forever and comes back, and he wrote me a ticket, and he told me he was doing me a favor because he said there's a $300 and some ticket you can get for being on your cell phone. And then there is another one that's like a friendlier warning that's just $100. He gave me the $100 one. And I was like, you're not doing me any favor. I said, you're harassing me. I said, I'm not on my cell phone. So I went to court and tried to fight it. They didn't reverse it. They made me pay the fine, which is a complete joke. And this was all part of the build-up to the burglary of the house. But I asked that officer that day, I said, is this really about the work that I'm doing online, putting out the knowledge about police's involvement in false flag shootings, and talking about police reporting nothing suspicious and truly suspicious deaths, and showing the routine encoding of 33? And I said, do you watch my videos? Do you know about police in 33? And he goes, "Oh, 33, that's an interesting number, but," he goes, "the real relevance of 33 is 3. And I said, "Oh, okay, well, thanks for telling me that." And the way I took that is, yeah, he is saying he's harassing me and that is the reason he's parked outside my house, and that is the real reason I'm getting pulled over right now, for doing this work. And I've lost track of time. I can't remember if I got pulled over just before the Marysville Pilchuck High School shooting or just after it, because I was investigating that. That was local to where I was at the time. And it was shortly after that the house got ransacked. But anyway, 33. 33 is the rep digit of 3. So, again, police, false flag, 16, Masonry, Federal, Secrecy, Order, the name of the high school, 16. The shooter was said to be 16. Then he goes on to die at about 3:30. And, again, here's the headline. Shooting took 16 seconds from start to finish. Wow. Saugus, 16. No. Okay. Let me see, is there anything else to say about that? I guess to put up the information on the shooter I said about earlier. Nathaniel Behrendt, 74. Saugus, 74. Active shooter, 74. So, again, if you were watching this in real time, the numbers we were encoding, they were just the numbers that were encoded in the next headline news story. And that's how it is with this work. You always stay ahead of the curve, right? I mean, you see what's going to happen before it happens. Just like why we said circle the date, November 14th, 2019, a month in advance. It was that date with the 4464 numerology. Kill 4464. By the way, the word serial is 44 and 64 since it's used to a serial killer. Okay, switching gears, Roger Stone found guilty. And Talked about this before. The whole Roger Stone arrest earlier this year was all news by the numbers. Of course, everything with the federal government is news by the numbers. Pretty much everything in the news is news by the numbers. But Roger Jason Stone Jr., 223, that number of Masonry, Masonic 223 in Jewish Gematria, a very special number. He was found guilty on November 15th, the 319th day of the year. And notice, in the Satanic cipher and in the Jewish cipher, Masonics 319 and 223, just like his name. Again, no doubt about it, Masonic ritual. And from his arrest, which was January 25th, to his guilty verdict was 42 weeks. What's 42? Freemason is 42. So, no doubt about it. Masonry runs the show. Undeniably. And in light of this coming during the whole impeachment inquiry, again, Roger Stone's one of the many 134 pieces around Trump. Roger Stone's 134, Impeach is 134, Make America Great Again is 134, House of Cards is 134. So, just another layer of detail in the political theater. They put out this image of Roger Stone smirking with sunglasses. And I think the judge released him anyway, you know. He's guilty, but he's free to go home. Wow. Who else gets that kind of treatment? Just like how if you're guilty in the trial that's a TV show or a Hollywood movie, you get to go home afterwards too. It's no different. Now this Browns-Steelers game, again, you want to know Gematria to see through these sports games. The Browns picked up their 58th win all-time in their stadium. 58. Pittsburgh equals 58, so perfect team to get the 58th win against. Something we were clued into before the game was played. And again, Freemasonry equals 58. Rosicrucian 58. Secret Society 58. Cleveland itself, the city that sums to 33, like Masonry, like secrecy, like order. So you have these two cities playing each other with this, you know, super Masonic Gematria. This game was played on Jim Brown's 271st day of his age, which is the 58th prime. Again, that was something we talked about before the game was even played. Part of the reason it looked good for the Browns to beat the Steelers to get that 58th win. Whole national media said that the Steelers were going to win this game. Again, pretty much anytime the national media says, they're all in unison saying something, it's not going to happen in sports. Just like how they were all saying the Astros were going to beat the Nationals. Nope. Don't listen to the media. It's here to misinform you. If you're a sports gambler, it's trying to tell you the wrong information so you can help, you know. The same people who run your government are the same people who own the casinos, if you don't know that. It's the same people who run your banks, your mega corporations. They own your sports teams. They own your politicians. They own your news networks. They own the toxic food companies that get all their products in the shelves of all the major grocery companies like Kroger. Kroger, biggest food company in the world. Kroger equals 74 occurs. But it really is a small group of people who control the world. And pretty much almost all the things, and that's what people have to understand. It's a small group of people who try to keep the world's populace focused on the things they want them focused on. Sports, entertainment, politics, etc. You know, this is how a small group of people control a large group of people. By controlling the things, well, the technological things that occupy the minds of the masses. You know, movies, radio, internet, absolutely. So anyway, at the end of this game, when the Browns should be just feeling great, right? Big win for the Browns, division rival, trying to get their season right. How's it going to end in the closing seconds with this just completely ridiculous fight? And as Michael called in about, this guy who attacked Mason Rudolph, by the way, Mason equals 17 earlier this season. Mason led the Steelers to the record 17th straight win on Monday Night Football at home. Remember, modern Freemasonry began in 1717. But anyway, this guy who attacked him, there was a story recently about how he's been training with a UFC fighter. And now this happens, right? Now he gets in a fight and pulls off the helmet of a player and attacks him with the helmet. And I'm sure getting hit over the head with that helmet did hurt. You know, that part was real. But again, these guys are paid a lot of money to go out and play in this staged, ridiculous athletic theater. By the way, this game took place on the day leaving 47 days left in the year, adding to the Masonic ritual, 47 degrees on the Masonic compass. Ohio equals 47, the birthplace of football. Again, that's why the first Super Bowl was in the 47th season of the NFL. Well, let's just read this. Myles Garrett produced a disgraceful act of violence as the Cleveland Browns secured a 21-7 victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers on Thursday Night Football, and the only logical repercussion for the NFL is a season-ending suspension. And keep in mind, we're talking about a black man attacking a white man, while at the same time the two biggest stories in the NFL right now are Colin Kaepernick, who's protesting white police officers killing unarmed black men, essentially, and then now you have this other story where a black man attacks the white man Mason with his helmet. And think about Masonic lodges with the black and white, checkerboard floors everywhere, black and white, duality, symbolism, division, divide and conquer, tactics. There was no reason for what happened during the final 14 seconds on the 14th. Again, NFL 14-point margin of victory. On 3rd and 29, football equals 29, so does Ohio. With no hope of a comeback, the Steelers attempted a screen pass. Garrett played through his block, hit Steelers quarterback Mason Rudolph, and took him to the ground. Chaos ensued. And that we're going to get to the word chaos, because again, we said 2019 would be the year of chaos. That's the Masonic motto. Order out of chaos. The quarterback became enraged by the needless takedown and started a skirmish. Garrett lifted Rudolph to his feet by his face mask. The helmet strap eventually gave way, but the defensive end didn't drop the quarterback's headgear after removing it from its owner. Rudolph then rushed Garrett, who was being pushed away by Steelers guard David DeCastro. Let me see. Garrett inexplicably then swung the helmet as a weapon in retaliation and landed a blow to Rudolph's exposed head. So, the instigator of the fight was Mason Rudolph, and I imagine the whole thing was a scripted, contrived ending, all meant to be as it was, probably even practiced and rehearsed. But, it doesn't mention that Rudolph kicked the other guy in the nuts and was grabbing at him, so he wasn't an innocent party. But notice, this happened on a date with 19 numerology. Chaos equals 19, and the man who attacked with the helmet, Myles Garrett, it was 46 days from his birthday. Chaos, 46 and 19. Just like how they put in the story. Chaos ensued, needlessly. And if you go back and watch, the play started with 14 seconds, but they stopped the clock with 8 seconds. 19 is the 8th prime number. And it's been a big weapon for us this year in the NFL. Dominated the NFL by recognizing teams going for streaks of 8 in 2019. Those are about 20 for 22 on the season. So, anyway. No doubt about it. Here's the shot right here with the clock with the 8 seconds left. And, they code inexcusable, which equals 115 and 43. Again, Masonics 115 and 43. Football's 43. So, it's all theater. And now let's close with the fact that the mainstream media giving coverage for the 3rd year in a row to the Flat Earth Convention. And again, for as long as the Flat Earth thing has been here in the truth community, the mainstream media has given it attention and helped it become as viral as it is. So it was up on the front page yesterday on CNN. It's still here up on the front page. This image went up last night, which was November 16th, 2019, right? And November 16th, 2019 was a date with a life lesson number 39. Notice what's right there, Faker 39. And 39, biblical number, Old Testament. A lot of people who believe the earth is flat, they cite the Bible as their evidence. And anyhow, I just want to go back over the dates chosen for the Flat Earth conventions. Also, just real quick before I get to this, I thought these stories were interesting beneath it. What really goes on inside Area 51? And then how the 1% are preparing for the apocalypse. Yeah, there's some interesting stories you got up there today, CNN. But, okay. So, this year's Flat Earth convention began on November 14th, the day leaving 47 days left in the year. And what have I been saying about flat earth theory the whole time and how it went viral so fast, and nothing worthwhile in the truth community goes viral? You know, all you see going viral in the in the truth community are the shills and psyops. But flat earth theory, 74 in the most pure cipher. And you know, last year the Flat Earth Convention was in Denver, Colorado, which equals 74. But hold on, I want to go back to the very first one. So, November 14th, 47 days left in the year, 47 degrees on the Masonic compass, 47 the reflection of 74. And the very first one was in 2017, and I pointed this out then. It began November 9th. 119, which is a suspicious number in itself. 119, again, Star of David's 119, Ashkenazi Jews is 119, Orthodox is 119. The Flat Earth movement in the United States of America comes out of Zion, Illinois. True story, Zion, Illinois, where the Flat Earth movement comes from. Again, 39 books in the Old Testament. Think about it. But November 9th, the thing about that day, in light of having your first ever Flat Earth conference begin that day, that is the day leaving 52 days left in the year. 52 days, right? And that's what Earth equals, just using the alphabetic order. Earth is 52. So what a day to have this conference about the shape of the Earth. The day leaving 52 days left in the year. And so that was 2017. Last year it was in Denver, Colorado. Denver, Colorado, 74, like Flat Earth theory. This year it was in Dallas. Dallas, you know, Masonic town. Dallas 113, you know. The first ever one was in Raleigh. Raleigh's 42, like Freemason, also 39 again, like Masonry. So I just realized the word flat is 39. That's funny. That's funny. I didn't even realize that. Flat's 39. Well, doesn't that make sense to have it in Raleigh? And I remember Mark Sargent got up on the stage and said he wasn't in the CIA because people accused him of that. And he was wearing a t-shirt with a number 68 on the back. Mark Sargent, who supposedly lives with his mom and is like 50 years old. I mean, talk about a bad stereotype, right? And what's Mark Sargent doing now? He's doing commercials in Australia making fun of the Flat Earth theory. Guy in YouTube revenue made so much money so fast on the Flat Earth theory, he was able to go out and buy a $50,000 car and put a custom plate on it. It's flat. Yeah, the Flat Earth leaders are really taking us to where we need to be in this world. You know, you got the rapist, ODD reality. ODD reality, when he wanted to get back at me for calling out what was wrong with the Flat Earth, he chose one of my videos where I showed people how to make a nutritious shake, and he made fun of it. And the guy's a fat slob and a rapist. And the way he could attack me was to show that it was dumb for me to show people how to make a healthy smoothie. So there's one of your Flat Earth leaders, ODD reality, and I don't even want to talk about the rest of them. So anyway, again, I don't want to argue about the shape of the Earth. I just want to point out that the whole thing's looked like a psyop from the beginning. And again, ask yourself, why does the media carry this story every year about the Flat Earth Convention? So, the media only covers things they want people to think about. You know, the matrix of information, the divisive matrix of information they want people to get involved in. And people all say, but Zach, you're divisive about the Flat Earth theory. Well, I've been calling the thing out from day one, because I said it was here to discredit the truth community. And look at a year ago. A year ago this time when they went through the latest wave, essentially, well, that's not the latest anymore. There's been more waves, but a year ago it was the latest wave of censorship from Google. And you had all the mainstream media writing about how they were taking down content, calling 9/11 a conspiracy, content calling out mass shootings, and content calling the Earth flat. They were going to censor those three things. And I said, see, this is exactly what I said in 2015. They're going to start equating legitimate conspiracies, you know, things that are contributing to building this police surveillance state. They're going to start saying it's on the level as, you know, saying the Earth is flat without any proof. And that's exactly where we are. All proven last year, about a year ago this time. All the headlines had articles just like that. Google's going after 9/11 conspiracy theories, you know, false flag shootings, and flat earthers, as if they're all one and the same. So, and again, I will, for all of you who are probably, I'm not looking at the chat right now, but for all of you who are probably saying, the earth is flat, Zach, the earth is flat. Okay, fine, the earth is flat, I don't care. Maybe it is. Doesn't exactly make sense to me. I don't understand how a sunset or a sunrise can happen. And please don't just start leaving your explanations. They don't make any sense. We all see how the sun sets and rises. It's not like it's going out a distance. Not at all. But I just want to point out how the whole Flat Earth, every year the Flat Earth Conference seems to just circulate around these very Masonic days, these very well purposefully, Kabbalistically placed dates. Because again, that's what the whole Kabbalah Gematria thing is. Doing things in accordance with dates in the calendar, doing it by the code. So who's really behind the whole Flat Earth Conference? And, let's see. Let me see. I see somebody who needs a moderator. What's up, Miss Mildred? What's up, everybody? Miss Mildred, I gotta get that poster you sent me framed, Miss Mildred. Miss Mildred sent me in the mail the Murder by Numbers movie poster. I have a big one like the one you'd see on the theater. I should get it framed and I don't know. I guess I gotta find a spot where I can put it up on a wall. Broadcast. Maybe that's what I should do. Get that framed and put up on the wall, and every time I do the latest celebrity death, just have that in the background. So, thanks again for that, Miss Mildred, along with the delicious vegetables you sent me. Much appreciated. Well, yeah, almost no one is watching. 32 viewers. Woo! What a turnout. But I saw almost nobody subscribed to the channel either, so I think no one's getting the notification about the new channel. But let me move this so I can see the chat better. Well, I think a lot of people would sign up to take a helmet off the head if they got paid as much as these NFL players do. So. No, it's not channel 23, and technically channel 19 still exists, but probably for not much longer, so this is number 20 for now. We'll be alternating between channel 20 and channel 19. But alright, we'll leave it there, you guys. Appreciate all of you. Thanks for signing up for the new channel. Thanks for finding the live stream. If you guys can hit the like button who didn't, might help a few more people find this channel, but we'll leave it there for now. And until next time, True Seeker.